Hello there and welcome along to Hive Live Extra, your place for exclusive reaction and analysis following our goalless draw away at City Ground this evening between Nottingham Forest and Watford. Here in the studio with me, I'm joined by Helen Ward and Robert Page. Helen, we'll come to you first. Do you think that's 2 points lost or a point gained?
I think if you look at it in isolation, it's 2 points lost. But when you look at it in the bigger picture, when you see Norwich losing, you see Bournemouth losing last night, it's a point gained on those two who, at the time, they're above us. So when you look at it in that way, it's a point gained, very much so, and a clean sheet. So being positive Polly over here, I'm going to say it's a point gained.
What about you, Robbie? A positive Polly yourself? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to be a great game for the manager to watch back, and he's going to be disappointed with aspects of the performance, of course, but it's a clean sheet and a point on the road, and you'll take that any day of the week.
Well, we'll talk more about match specifics shortly, but for now, let's head pitchside to City Ground to get some post-match reaction.
Vladimir, is that a fair result?
I believe yes. It's a fair result. We didn't start a good game. I believe that in first 45 minutes we didn't create something. A lot of static position in front without a movement, and a lot of times some hard decision to play a lot of times between the line when it was not moment to play for this pass. Second half, I believe that we were better. We start to run, to create something, to press up, and I believe that second 45 minutes it was better than first 45, but again, I said it's fair result, 0-0. Again, we know that in this moment, with a lot of games, we need and to rest some of the players. We understand today what's happening with Craig, with his hamstring. I believe that in the next days, some of the players will come to help us, the players who stay out for a different kind of the reason. Some of them is injured, some of them is COVID, and we will see what's going to happen in the next days.
Disappointing to only have one shot on target?
Yes, sure, it's not enough. We know that previous game example, we did a lot of shoots today. It was our opponent, Nottingham, play good in defense. They are close. Their goal, they have every time 8 or 9 players behind of the ball, and it was not easy to create a lot. But again, we take 1 point. We know that we have a lot of games. We have a marathon in front of us with the games, and I believe that game by game we need to prepare ourselves for this marathon what we have in front.
Have you put your finger on quite why we're not playing as well away from home as we are at home?
This is something what is not first time. Yes, I agree. If we compare our games, home and away games, yes. To be honest, now if we speak now about the fans that we cannot adapt in the other stadium with the opponent fans, we don't have fans here. It's the same. It's the empty stadium, and here and in our stadium. That means to know what is the reason. Thinking about that, we try to find the right reason and to change mentality. That it's something what we're looking for.
How pleased were you with your defence, particularly Kabasele and Cathcart at the heart of the defence?
Both of them did a good job until now, and we know that we have in this position and Ekong and Ben Wilmot and Sierralta, the 3 players, and in this position we are complete. I believe that we can use in the other guys. Now when we play with 4 players in the last line, we can use 2 of them. I have other positions. Problem for me, not central defender. We need to complete our roster and to be aware to fight game by game.
2 clean sheets in 3 games. Pleased with the defensive organisation, particularly a new system 4 at the back?
Yes, we can be pleased with the organisation in our defence, with the movement, with how we cover the space, how we adapt in the last 3 games. We didn't have a lot of time to work, but again, we speak about experienced players and they understand what we want. But again, When we speak about defense, we speak about the 10 players, 11 players who play in defense. When we speak about attack, we speak again about 11 players. I mean, we cannot speak that we are not good enough in front just because of the strikers. Need to work like team. How we work in defense, we need to work in attack, and this is something what we need to improve.
The post-match thoughts of the Watford head coach Vladimir Ivic there speaking at City Ground. Helen, I suppose Watford have run into a few of the same issues, haven't they, on the road recently? What do they need to do differently moving forward to get out of this habit?
I think if I knew that, I'd be in charge.
True.
But no, I don't know. I don't know if they need to change something in their mentality and their mindset. I don't know if they're going into games expecting it to be a stroll. I don't expect that's the case, but it's hard to put your finger on because they're so good at home. It is really strange to see them go away. Again, like we've said, there's no fans, so there's no pressure from that point of view. So yeah, it's really difficult to say. I've not really given you an answer there at all, but
well, that is the answer there, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just don't know. What's your interpretation of it, Rob? Do you think it's hard to put your finger on?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look back at the goals that they scored on Saturday, and one was a set piece, great delivery, great run across the near post, gambling at the back post for the tap in. The delivery from set pieces today was quite poor, I thought. They did have a couple of chances, and Troy's probably guilty of not hitting the target for his chance. They're not creating enough chances away from home. Is that a mentality? Is it because they're up against a Forest team today that were very, very organised and hard to break down? Is the mentality at home slightly different because the impotence is on them to go and get the win and create chances and score goals? So I think it could be a mentality thing as well.
Yeah, and actually Christian Cabasele, when we spoke to him live on Hive Live straight after the game, he made a point of the fact that we are a team that when teams come up against us, we are the team that have been relegated from the Premier League. You know, they come at us and they want to be really solid. They want to be really hard to break down. I suppose we saw that tonight. And on top of that, they're managed by Chris Hughton, and that's his trademark, isn't it? That's what he does. So it was always going to be difficult.
Yeah, and it's a mindset that they've had to flip, you know, in a very short space of time. You know, normally a pre-season's a lot longer. The end of last season was so late where they were the team that were expected to be beaten every week. So then coming out and being the team to beat, it's a real different mindset to have as a player. And whether they're struggling with that a little bit, I don't know, because the onus is on them to make things happen rather than waiting for the opposition to give those opportunities to them. And that's not happening, especially away from home. Home teams perhaps are protecting points where they can't afford to drop points at home. So maybe they're being that little bit more cautious to stop Watford playing through them, because the players they have, in theory, should be able to cut through a lot of the teams in this division, but it's just not happening at the moment.
Yeah, and as manager, Rob, what kind of job does Ivic have now to try and make sure that the players do see this in a positive light, and then it was another point gains? Because it literally was. Watford are back up to third in the table. I suppose that's your job as manager, is to remind them of that, so they're charged coming into this game on Saturday at home. Absolutely.
He'll have looked back at the game tomorrow, no doubt, and address areas that need looking at and working at the pitch. But fill them with confidence that it is a clean sheet, it's a point gained, they're up to third. There's a lot of positives in there, and there's still a lot more to come. Now, the good sign is when you're not particularly playing well, but you're still gaining points, that's okay. You're finding a way to grind out a result. All right, it wasn't a win, it wasn't 3 points, but if you're finding a way to get a point in a clean sheet and not playing well, that's your foundation. Okay, we'll build on that, and we'll improve the performance and look forward to a home game.
Yeah, and with that, Helen, I suppose the final word really is that having the fans back in here on Saturday, you'll just hope that'll give them that extra oomph that perhaps we didn't see tonight.
Yeah, I think the whole country's been waiting for it, a little bit of positivity in what's been a really tough year. So it'll be nice to have the fans back through the gates, and I'm sure the players will be wanting to give them a performance to go home and be happy about.
Yeah, and if we do get 3 points on Saturday, suddenly again the psyche flips once more, because that's 7 points from 3 games, which is a good return in the Championship.
Yeah, but it goes to show the standards that the boys have set. We're disappointed tonight that they've come away with a point away from home. You know, so that's the standards you set. When you want to be successful and you want to be pushing for promotion, that's absolutely the standards you set.
All right, well, we'll leave it here in the Hive Live Extra studio. Thank you to Helen and to Rob for your post-match thoughts there. We look forward to being back with you here on Saturday with fans. Yes, we're really looking forward to it here on Hive Live. That's Watford taking on Cardiff City. Kick off at 3 o'clock, so we'll be with you from 2 with a full hour of Watford-focused build-up. So we look forward to that, and we look forward to seeing some of you in the seats behind us. But for those of you that aren't fortunate enough to be picked out of the ballot, we'll be here right with you once more on Hive Live for wall-to-wall Watford chat as we build up to that big game against Cardiff. We look forward to seeing you then.
Click here if you love this.